catch up. Takes a second for the live notifications to go out sometimes. So how long did your stream go for?
I stream for about 5-ish hours.
Okay. How long do you normally stream for?
About 4 to 5 hours.
Okay, I gotcha. And you're able to stream several days a week for the most part?
I would say that I probably stream at least 5 days a week.
Oh, okay, awesome. Well, dang. All right. We'll wait just a little bit. Oh, we got people popping in. And I apologize in advance. I'm going to put my mic up several times throughout this,
No, you're fine.
just 'cause I'm still recovering from a sinus infection. But, all right, we will go ahead and get started. So, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for tuning back in. We're at the 31st episode of Yawning After Dark Meet the Streamer. And with me today is Daisy underscore underscore, who is part of the Mushu clan and is also a fellow Overwatch player and all around fantastic person. And as always, I am going to let Daisy introduce uh, himself because it's the easiest thing to do is to let the guest introduce themselves. So, uh, Daisy, go ahead and take it away.
What's going on, everyone? Like you said, my name is Daisy. I've been streaming for about 2 years now. It'll be my 2 year affiliate was last July. I stream Overwatch. I've also been known to stream Apex. I've streamed Darkest Dungeon. My main game when I first started was Dead by Daylight.
Awesome.
I switched from Dead by Daylight to Overwatch maybe about, I would say maybe about 9 months ago. Um, I am currently enlisted in the United States military, U.S. Air Force. That'll be 9 years in January. I've been stationed in Arkansas, Arizona, South Korea, and currently I am stationed on the island of Japan. Um, I have two cats. I've been married to my wife for 2 years. Um, that's all I have right now.
Oh, that's
So
okay.
yeah, that's me.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So, I'm sure that there is an awesome story behind it. So we're gonna go ahead and start with how did you come across? Because Daisy is taken from Super Mario. So,
Yes.
how did you come up with that particular moniker?
So when I first started, just like being on Twitch in general, um, my name was Daisy's boyfriend. That was my original Twitch name,
Okay.
like years ago, because Princess Daisy is my personal favorite female video game character. I've always loved her,
Okay. Cool.
so she's always been my favorite. So like I kind of named my Twitch name after her, and then um, I started dating my wife, and when I got engaged to my wife, a lot of my friends on Twitch were like, "Hey, you should change your name to coincide with you being engaged to your wife." So I changed my name to Daisy's fiance, and then when we got married, I changed my name to Daisy's husband, and that was my name for a long time. But the thing is that through that entire time, nobody on Twitch would call me Daisy's husband. Like people in Twitch chat wouldn't call me that.
Oh.
Streamers wouldn't call me that. Everybody would just call me Daisy. Like nobody ever called me by my full name, so I kind of just became known as Daisy. And so when I started streaming, I didn't think that Daisy's husband was a good name, like a good streamer name, because
Hmm.
then it would imply that people would have to call me husband, and nobody did that. Everyone just called me Daisy, and so I think I changed my name to it's underscore just Daisy, which evolved to the literally just Daisy, and
Right.
then yeah, and then after just Daisy, the current version that you see now.
Well, why did Daisy become your favorite female video game character?
Uh, so I think it just came from I used to own a Nintendo 64 back when I was a little kid,
One of the best consoles.
and right, exactly. I love Nintendo 64, and me and my entire family, we would play like the original, like we would play Mario Golf 64, we would play Mario Tennis. I remember playing Mario Party 2 for the 64, and I think I would just every time that we played I would just choose Daisy. I don't know why. I think it's because I mean, I personally am attracted to brunettes, and so I guess I just always preferred her over Princess Daisy, and so just anytime that I would play anything involving Mario, like if Daisy was an option to play as her, I would always pick her. Mario Kart Double Dash, Mario Tennis, Mario Golf, Mario Party, Mario Kart. Like it just didn't matter. Like if Daisy was an option, I would just always pick her. And then um, I actually have a pinup tattoo of Princess Daisy on my tricep.
That's awesome. Do you have pictures of that in your Discord?
Uh, not of that tattoo specifically, but yeah, I mean, I think there might be one like deep down in there.
Okay, okay. You will, if you don't mind, if you're comfortable with it, you should post a picture in the either your Discord or my Discord or both. Be very, very interested to see that because you have a lot of tattoos, correct?
I have about 15 tattoos. Yes.
Okay. What are most of your tattoos of? Well, you have one of Diva, correct?
Yes, I have one of Diva. Um, so I'm 28,
Mm-hmm.
and the first tattoo that I ever got was when I was 17.
Okay.
My parents got it for me. Um, and then so like that, I wasn't really into video games at that point. I was mostly into sports and things like that. I have a tattoo of my dog who passed away a couple years ago. And then when I started playing Overwatch, and then when I started streaming Overwatch, that's kind of like when it all started. And then it started with the Diva tattoo, but it's not a tattoo of just Diva. It's Diva, Katana from Mortal Kombat, and Cammy from Street Fighter, all three
Okay.
together in one tattoo. Uh, and then what was my next one? I think so. Then on my forearm, I have the lion insignia from Reinhardt's shield
Okay. Cool.
on my forearm, and then on the opposite side of that forearm, I have like a tattoo of Brig in like a very ornate picture frame, and then I have Sombra's skull logo tattooed on both of my collarbones, and then I just have like a flash little tiny version of Tracer tattooed on my left forearm,
So
and I
you are a
believe
huge
yeah.
Overwatch fan.
Oh yeah, it's my favorite game of all time.
Okay.
A lot of people give me a lot of flack for saying like that Overwatch is my favorite game, because people like like the old, like the meme that people are just like Overwatch is dead and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know what it is about that video game. It's literally my favorite game of all time. Number one at my list is Overwatch.
Um, taking a step back for a moment. Growing up, what types of games did you normally play?
Growing up, it was a lot of, I think, just a lot of Mario based games. Well, so when I was born back in '92, my dad had a Super Nintendo, and I distinctly remember playing Super Mario World, Mortal Kombat 2, Street Fighter 2, and the very first NBA Jam. And then after we got rid of that, like there was a long gap. And then we had the 64, and then we played a lot of party-based games with my family. Like we didn't really play like a bunch of solo stuff. Although the first solo game that I played was Super Mario 64,
Okay.
but I remember playing the very first Smash Brothers with my brother, and like we never owned it actually, but my mom would take us to Blockbuster every Friday, and we would
That's
always
right.
get
It did
the
exist,
yeah,
everybody. It did
exactly.
exist.
Blockbuster was the thing back then. For those of you who weren't around then, but we would go there every Friday night, and me and my brother we would rent the first ever Smash Brothers, and then yeah, like I said, we would play a lot with my friend, our family. So we would play Mario Kart 64 a lot, and we would play Mario Party a lot. And then the GameCube was kind of like the same story. Um, Obviously, we own Smash Brothers Melee, which, in my opinion, is the greatest fighting game ever made. Um, and then Mario Kart Double Dash, which I think is the best Mario Kart ever made, and Super Mario Sunshine. And then me and my brother, we were really into a lot of sports games. I remember playing Madden 2003 a lot with me and my brother. Uh, and then after the GameCube, I remember getting the Xbox 360. Obviously, games like Halo 3 and stuff like that. So
I've always
that's
been a
kind of
big Nintendo fan.
a big. Yes, I love Nintendo. I like Xbox. I've actually never in my life I've never owned a PlayStation.
Okay.
So
What about I have to. I know this is blasphemy, but I have to ask. What about Sega? Since now they're
no,
technically they're not technically they are entirely owned by Nintendo. We always used to growing up. We always used to have that. Who's going to be the more successful company? It's Sega. No, it's Nintendo. And then Nintendo bought Sega.
right?
um,
Yeah, no, I wasn't old enough back then.
well, I'm a couple of years older than you. 31, but I remember it was specifically because I had older brothers um, that
Right,
they, brought these systems around, and I knew about them, before I really even knew, um, you know, I used to I tell a story all the time, but I used to go to the arcades and I didn't know that you had to have tokens or quarters.
right.
That you just would play the starter screen over and over and over again, and and I was like, yeah, it turns out, or my
Yeah,
stepbrother told me that. But I grew up with a bunch of older brothers, so they left me, their systems, stuff like that. Like I remember, um, I had no concept of the Sega CD and all that stuff. That stuff was just beyond me. But I watched them play it all the time. Um, so, um, what would you say was your favorite Nintendo system?
I would. I mean, I have most of my experience with Nintendo was probably the GameCube, so I think the
Okay.
GameCube is maybe like right under the 64, but the GameCube is what I had the most experience with. The one that like you know I guess you would call it kind of like your formative years of video gaming. So I would probably attribute to a lot of it to the GameCube.
Well, I think yeah, I would probably go with 64 for me. Um, 64. I'm trying to remember when Nintendo 64 came out.
I think it was like 1997, like 97, 98. I think
Let's see here.
maybe a little bit earlier than that.
Um, cause this was yeah, okay, yeah, cause getting into PlayStation, like the first PlayStation. Nintendo, all that stuff. Those were
Mm-hmm.
the systems that I was able to, in some capacity. I mean, I
Right.
wasn't figuring out the most difficult games, but in some capacity, I was able to play them.
Right.
Because PlayStation was 95, 90, 94, 95, something like that. Um, okay,
Right.
that is not correct, Nightbot. This is who we are interviewing.
But yeah, like going back to your Sega thing, I actually didn't know that Sega was even a company, and maybe until man, I was maybe even almost a teenager. Um, I didn't. Well, okay, I knew that Sega existed. I didn't know that Sega existed as a console maker. I knew that they were a company who made video games like Sonic,
Damn
and stuff
hedgehog.
like that. Yeah. I've actually never played a Sonic game, and then I remember my next door neighbors who lived across the street. I remember them getting the first PlayStation, and then another friend who lived up the street, he had the first Xbox.
Okay,
I actually never owned the first Xbox. The first Xbox I owned was the 360,
okay. I'm
and I played like Halo 3, and I played the Mortal Kombat that came out in 2011.
so trying to think here real quick. So, because Xbox 360 was the first one that I owned, I had friends that had the Xbox, and we would go over and play
Right.
Halo and stuff. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I remember the first game I got for Xbox 360 was actually, um, oh God, now I can't think of the name of it. It's on Steam. I literally just bought it on Steam. It was one of their release games. Um,
Time
it,
to pull up the Steam library.
yeah, time to. Well, hang on. Let me actually. Xbox 360 release games. That's gonna bug me. Google. Um, Condemned. There we go.
Okay.
Condemned Criminal Origins. It was actually a really good game. Um, I think it was very, very underrated for a release game. I think it was very, very well done. Um, but have you always so when we think of Mario, right? We think of
Mm-hmm.
platformers and stuff like that. But then Overwatch is
Right.
an FPS. So and then Mario Kart is a racing game. There's an abundance of different genres. Have you ever been drawn to one style or one genre in particular, or were you always just, hey, this is fun, I'm playing it. It was more about whether or not it was Nintendo or
I think I had my hand in like a lot of different genres. I would def. I think I was very much into single player games earlier on.
hmm
But the thing is that I am a very competitive person. Uh, I I like the prospect of winning and losing and testing your skills up against other people. So those kind of games always appeal to me more, especially when having a little brother and a dad who was also very competitive, and my dad always had me involved in sports. I played soccer, I played football, baseball, I ran track. I won a state championship in track. I did cross country, so I'm very competitive. So I think it started when when I first ever played Smash. When I played Smash, I knew that I had a more liking for competitive based games like winning and losing. So I kind of transitioned away from single player games, and I got more into like any kind. Honestly, if it just had a multiplayer function, uh, I loved it. Like I said, I love fighting games. Mortal Kombat is my favorite fighting game franchise,
okay.
so I would play that a lot. I would play Smash, Mario Kart. Me and my brother, because I played sports and my dad played sports, we would play a lot of sports video games. Like I said, we always played the Madden series. We played NCAA football, and we would play those for hours. Halo 3, I would play online Halo 3 for, like I said, for hours. So, and then Overwatch came out in 2016, and but at that point, FPS games weren't really my thing.
Hmm.
But then watching the beta of people playing Overwatch on Twitch, I was like, you know what, this kind of looks like a game for me. It's not a very traditional FPS games, with characters like Reinhardt and Winston when the game first came out. So I thought it was kind of more up my alley. So I didn't cut my teeth on your like what the FPS games that people played before they played Overwatch. I didn't play CS:GO. I didn't play Team Fortress 2 and things like that. And I actually didn't play a lot of PC games. I didn't buy a PC until I wanted to stream back in
Oh, okay.
2018. Before that, I had never played a PC game in my life. So Overwatch was my introduction to PC gaming.
Can you describe? I mean, there's been several of us who have gone through it, but can you describe what that experience was like going from console gaming to PC gaming?
I rem- so when that happened, I honestly thought in my mind, I was like, I'm never gonna get the hang of this. I'm never gonna be able to transition from controller to mouse and keyboard. In my mind, it was like it's never gonna happen. Even if I want to play Overwatch on PC, I'm still gonna use a controller, and that's the way it was for like the first 2 months. It was kind of like learning how to swim and being afraid of the deep end. You know, like I never wanted to do it and I never was willing to learn. But then one day, I was kind of like, you know what? I have to. If I want to do this, if I want to fully transition, I just have to dive deep into it. And it took me, I would say maybe it took 3 months for me to really learn it. And then it took another 2 months to really feel comfortable with mouse and keyboard. So I would take about, like 5 months for me to learn mouse and keyboard.
And now, once you do it, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but is it a
No, you're
never
fine.
going back situation?
Oh, I would say so. Yes. Actually, so in my channel, it's actually a point redemption for me to play a controller game, and somebody did it, and I don't play competitive. I play a game of quick play using controller, and the first time I did it, I picked up the controller and I started navigating the menu, and I was like, How does anyone do this? This is impossible. Just like the very slow turn radius of the controller, trying to remember what everything does. And I was like, did I really play controller for 2 years?
Hmm.
And it's like working back in it now, I'm like, man, this is impossible.
Yeah, and you really do. I think more than anything I've ever done in my life, I've lost the ability to use like a controller now.
Mm-hmm.
Like I go back and try to use a controller, it does not work at all. It
Oh
feels
no,
so unnatural.
especially for like a true first person point of view, it's like how it's kind of like it's just like it's like wondering like how did you live before this moment? How did the world function before internet?
uh,
How did you do things before you learned how to drive a car? It's kind of like what was my life like before learning mouse and keyboard? And it was controller, and you're just like, how did I ever do this?
we're we're boomers before there were boomers. Like what?
Exactly. Yeah.
Um. So with streaming, that's a huge initial investment to put
Mhm.
into it. What made you decide to get into streaming?
Um, I think that the one thing that I always saw around Twitch is just the sense of community
Hmm.
and the sense of belonging to something. I think the first time that I ever went into a stream and people recognized me and said hello to me and like truly wanted to know how I was doing, for some reason that really resonated with me, and I was like, I want that. Like that's something that I want to do that, because I think when you are a streamer on Twitch, you're providing more than entertainment. You're providing a service, and you're providing a space for people to come and communicate with each other and people who have something in common. And being in the military, I was away from family and I was away from friends, so Twitch was always kind of like that safe haven for me, you know, and that meant a lot to me, especially when I was in Korea, because when I was stationed in Korea, my wife couldn't be with me.
Mm.
I had to be there by myself, and so I didn't really make a lot of friends. So a lot of the times I would just go to my apartment and it would just be me by myself. And Twitch really helped me not, go into things like depression and things like that, because I had a place. I had I had somewhere where I felt like that I belonged. And so when I wanted to start streaming, that's what I want my focus of my stream to be. I want it to be community building. Like that's my main goal. Like I love talking to chat. Talking to chat is my favorite thing, other like, because I don't want my stream to be about gameplay. I don't want it to be about like or things like that. I want it a place for people to come together who have common interests, and just just want somewhere to feel like they belong. You know what I mean?
No, exactly, and I value that extremely highly as well. And I think that I've had at this point with all the interviews I've done, I've had on quite a few people. I would say probably 90% of them that is, 90-95% of them, that is like the first thing that they mention. Everybody mentions it, but it's just about 90-95% of them talk about
Right.
that was their initial goal, was this idea of building a community. And
Yeah.
I think especially a lot of them had a similar situation that you did, where it helped them out um, in times of, that would have been infinitely worse had they not had a social setting to turn to. And I
Right.
think especially in these situations now where we have these experiences with lockdown and all that stuff, it's even more important now to have different ways to connect with people, because you can't go out to the movies as much with your friends anymore, or at all.
Right.
And I know that's kind of an old cliche, go out to the drive-in, we'll pick up a
Yeah.
milkshake.
Exactly.
But it is one of those things where you have to find what traditionally might have been considered more unconventional ways to socialize and branch out and make friends, and maybe not even non-traditional in the younger generation sense, maybe just in our sense, being that we are a little bit older than so the people that come to Twitch. I think that community is the core foundation of every streamer, and it's
Mm-hmm.
not just that it's imperative for a streamer to build a solid community. Um, it's also a reflection of the streamer. What type
Right.
of community they build. So, with that being said, what drew you to the Mushu community?
Uh, so I remember I had known that Mushu. I knew that she was a streamer. I knew that uh, like I knew of her, but I didn't really have the chance to actually check her out. And then when I started watching her channel, just the way that just the way that she would talk to to chat, the way that she would talk to everybody, she just seemed like she just seemed so genuine. Like she wanted to know how you were doing, and she was very interactive, and she would try to answer everyone's questions, or try to say hi to everybody, and just how nice she was. And it really you know what's the word I'm looking for, it really drew me to her channel. And I just wanted to be a part of that at all times. And then um I know that a lot about Twitch is networking. And when I found that she wanted to be on that she had a stream team, I was like, I really feel like that I fit in well with her community. I feel like I have common interests with her, like with people that are on her stream team. um and I just really just love being in her stream. I love watching her. She's done so much for me, and she's just an all around nice person. And then when the whole pandemic thing hit, I had a lot of downtime, and just her stream was just somewhere that I always wanted to be. Uh, and then being in the military though, my schedule is an ever changing revolving door. So I'm not there as much as I'd like to, but I still try to make it to her streams as much as possible. And then
Oh, go
people
ahead.
that I've
Sorry.
met, sorry, people that I've met on her stream team are absolutely amazing. Like yourself, Hot Meal, Hiku, Big Boy Fury, Sleepy Bears, and those people. Like it's just full of amazing people.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think, I was initially, as I've said before, I initially got on the team um, because of Mushu, but what I was, you know, it's not that I was looking at it from a pessimistic standpoint. It's just that, you have no guarantee that,
Hmm.
you're going to get along with somebody just because you have people in common with them. Um, but I have gotten along with every single person from the stream team, um, you know, like just so easily. I mean, they're just
Right.
absolutely wonderful people. Um, and I've been fortunate enough that I've been able to do that with, the Mushu clan and then also the other org that I'm involved in, Team Lunatic. Like everybody has been. I have not. I always tell people I have had the most wonderful experiences on Twitch. I have not had. We all have trolls. It happens. It's the internet, unfortunately. Well, both fortunately
Yeah.
and unfortunately. But I would say 99% of my interactions have been wonderful. And I'm
Oh,
very,
same here.
very thankful for that. But this presents an interesting perspective because being in the military, I know several people that are in the military that stream, or they're in the military and thinking of it, but they're not entirely sure how to um, be able to juggle both fairly.
Right.
How did you find a balance?
Uh, it's a great question. Um, so one thing that I've always kind of like, yeah, one thing that that I heard, I don't think they said it to me specifically, is if you have a passion for something, you'll always do it for free. And I really have a passion for streaming, and it's just that I don't really know how I found the balance. It's just something that, I make it a point to make time. Uh because, I have a Discord and things like that. And so like I feel like when I became a streamer, and when I made a Discord, and that I have a community, I owe it to my community to provide them with a service, which is my stream. Um, and so I try to stream at least 4 days a week and at least 4 hours, no matter what. And sometimes it's easy. A lot of the weeks it's really hard, and but I think that my community kind of knows that. I try to keep them in the loop, like, hey, I'm not going to be able to stream this week, or I'm not going to be able to stream today, or and sometimes it's a good thing, and it's like, hey, I found time to stream, an extra day for an extra couple of hours. But finding that balance is definitely important, and I think that I've done that well. So. Uh, Especially on the weekends. On the weekends, is when I try to make my best effort to really give them this, like to really give a good stream. Um, so like, I try to stream at least 4 hours a day. So the balance is hard, but for some reason I make it work.
No, no, I completely admire that. What advice? So I guess what advice would you give someone who was currently in the military and thinking of doing it?
I would say just be confident, be patient, but at the same time, don't push yourself too hard, because being in the military, like we work, you know, we don't really. It's being in the military is not an hourly job. Like,
Right.
the one thing that we say in the military is that we don't ever really truly ever take off the uniform. Um, we're on duty 24/7, 365. So, don't ever push yourself too hard. Don't take yourself and don't take it too seriously. Have fun with it. Do what you can, and just really enjoy the moment. That's what I try to do every stream. Is I just really try to enjoy being with my community, enjoy playing video games, and just really enjoy being on Twitch. But I think on the mental side, I would say really like when you do stream, really take the opportunity to kind of disconnect yourself from everything, um, because Twitch is kind of like its own little world, and uh, sometimes being in the military, you have a lot of hard days. I know that I do. I know that there's a lot of days where at work where I'm tired, I'm frustrated, I'm angry, and I'm mad. But when I stream, I try to leave those kind of things at the door because streaming is like for me, streaming is an escape from all of that. It's an escape for everything. So
Right. And I think that that is an awesome way to look at it because that is what it is for a lot of people is an escape.
mm-hmm.
Entertainment in general is an escape for a lot of people because, as I've said before, without going into too much detail, doesn't necessarily matter what your exact viewpoints are on everything. The world's kind of a shit show, um,
Right.
and people want to be able to get away and not have these daily reminders, um, you know,
Mm-hmm.
through 24-hour news cycles and all this stuff. And so I think being able to learn or almost master that trait of being able to kind of drop what was going on throughout the day before you stream is a crucial skill set to pick up.
Right.
And has that been something that you've had to learn to do from streaming, or is it something that you've been always able to do? In terms of kind of psyching yourself out, or is it something the military taught you, or
Uh, really for me, I couldn't really tell you how I did it, but I've been able to differentiate the two and kind of separate them. Like yes, there's Daisy the who's in the military, but that he's not really the same person as Daisy the streamer. You know, like I don't want my identity as somebody in the US Armed Forces. I don't want that to dictate or represent who I am as a Twitch streamer because those are two different worlds. Like I don't want to use my status as a service member to really influence who I am as a streamer because I think they're two different people. Days like me as a military person, I'm in charge. I have to be stern and I have to be firm and I have to be very, you know, I have to be strict. I have to be not really. I wouldn't say stone faced, but I have to be a lot more aware of who I am. I have to
stoic?
be aware of my surroundings, and I have to because I have standards to uphold, not only like professionally, but also with my appearance. I have to make sure that my hair is cut a certain way, that my uniform is clean, um, that my boots are laced properly, and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I also have to carry myself around professionally around other people, like officers and people who outrank me. The military is a very yes sir, no sir type of way. And then when I come home, when I take that uniform off, then I become Daisy, you know, and like when I take the uniform off and sit in my chair and start my PC, then I'm Daisy the streamer.
Okay.
Daisy the streamer is very laid back. He's talkative. He wants to know how everyone's day is, and he just wants to goof off and play video games. So you know um I've just been able to separate the two, and I think that's the best thing for me.
What was it like the first time you hit that go live button?
Very nerve wracking. A lot of anxiety, a lot of a lot of something in my head being like, oh, you can't do this, you're not, you don't have what it takes to be a streamer. Nobody wants to watch your content, like
Right.
who do you think you are doing this? Like you're out of your depth, you're out of your element, and things like that. So it was very it was very challenging.
And what was it like when you hit affiliate? What it feel
Oh,
like?
I was over the moon. I couldn't believe that I had done it. I did it in about 3 months. At that time, I was streaming Dead by Daylight, um, and a lot of the Dead by Daylight community like really helped me out. One of my favorite streamers, I think I want to say I was 10 followers away from the 50 follower requirement, and my favorite streamer, Edgar Allan Bro Live,
I love that name.
is I love him to death. He's one of the best Dead by Daylight streamers out there. I would definitely recommend giving his watching his channel. Uh, he knew that I was kind of like on that affiliate grind,
Hmm.
and he asked me during his stream. He wanted to know how it was going, like how I was doing, and I was like, oh, I'm at 38 followers and I'm 12 followers away from hitting 50 followers. And he was playing a game of Dead by Daylight, and he literally stopped playing his video game like in a match, and he was like, I will not continue playing this game until everyone goes and follows Daisy on Twitch. And then I think that gave me like 20 followers. So I couldn't believe that he did that. So I like me making affiliate and stuff like that. I really owe to Edgar Allan Bro. Um, and it was just I think I almost cried. I'm pretty sure I at least got emotional. I know that I did, and it was one of the most amazing feelings in the world.
I was looking him up real quick. Does he play World of Warcraft now?
He's been known to play WoW. Yeah.
Is his uh
Um,
is his icon of him lifting or deadlifting? It looks like.
hold on. No, hold on. Do you mind if I post the link in your chat?
No, let me give you perms real quick.
Okay.
Okay, there you go. Why'd you switch from Oh, okay. Why'd you switch from Dead by Daylight to Overwatch?
So that was a very tough time for me. I was playing Dead by Daylight, and I don't know. I think there was something about the game. Well, okay, so Dead by Daylight and Overwatch both came out in the same year, and but when I first joined Twitch, the Dead by Daylight was the game that I found first, and I watched streamers like Jen Denise and Admiral Baru before he became a full variety streamer. He was a Dead by Daylight streamer. Um, so I remember watching their channels a lot and then playing that game. So I just became very deeply rooted in the Dead by Daylight Twitch community. And because I had known so many people from that community, that's the game that I decided, like, oh, when I start streaming, like, this is the game that I'm going to play. And I actually started to gain a really good following because I had big like big names in the Dead by Daylight community started following my stream and started rating me. Like, um, I know that a lot of people aren't going to know these names, but names like Edgar Allan Bro Live, names like Jen Denise, uh, Kitty Chips, and a lot of these verified partners on Twitch, were following my stream. And so I was almost at one point, I think I was like averaging almost 20 viewers a stream. And so like I was growing. But the thing is, while all of that was happening, I did not love the game. I didn't really have a passion to play Dead by Daylight. I didn't, I would never say this. I never said it on stream, but I would catch myself while streaming Dead by Daylight. I would catch myself looking at my uptime, asking myself like, okay, is this like, can I stop playing now? Can I stop streaming? Because I didn't want to play the game anymore. Like I didn't love the game, and in the back of my mind, I knew that I loved Overwatch. I knew that I loved playing Overwatch, and I think it was actually this year when it turned 2020. I Because before then I had also like started dabbling like like I would tell my stream like, I don't really want to play Dead by Daylight today, and I was like, we're gonna try out Overwatch or we're gonna try Apex or something like that. Like sometimes I would just play something other than that, and my streams I noticed started getting very wishy washy. Like like would I play Dead by Daylight? Would I play something else? And when 2020 came around, I told myself like, hey, you need to pick a game and you need to stick to it, and that needs to be your main game. And when I compared Overwatch to Dead by Daylight, I just didn't love Dead by Daylight the way that I love Overwatch. Like I absolutely love Overwatch. And so I it was a very hard decision for me to make to essentially start over, because when I switched, I basically had to break my community down, like like I had to tear down the walls, and I had to start from bare bones, and I basically had to build my stream from the ground up with Overwatch. Because when I left Dead by Daylight, a lot of people unfollowed my stream. There was a lot of people who just didn't come around anymore, who I didn't see for a long time, or now I would only see old friends when I go to other Dead by Daylight streams, because I still watch the game. I just don't play it. So it was a very hard transition, but I'm a lot happier now than when I was playing Dead by Daylight.
What what is it about Overwatch in specific that makes it your favorite game of all time?
Number one, the competitiveness. I play quick play every once in a while, but other than that, I only play comp. I I'm, I like winning and losing. I don't know what it is about the game, and then I love that it's not a very traditional FPS. Because I'm a Reinhardt main. I love playing Reinhardt. I think he's just something about his style of gameplay just really spoke to me. And I also love the characters themselves. I love, like, because I feel like when you play Overwatch, you feel a connection to your favorite heroes. You know what I mean? Like I can't really explain it. Like I don't
Fan
know.
of the
I love
cinematics
the
and stuff.
universe. Yeah, I love that. Oh, the cinematics are second to none. I absolutely love them. The cinematic about Reinhardt, dude, I cried when Baldric, took his like last stand in the Eichenwald Castle. Like I got choked up. Like it was emotional stuff. Like I truly feel a connection to the game. Obviously because I have like 8 Overwatch tattoos, and I have plenty of plans for more. I'm not done getting Overwatch tattoos.
Are you going to be playing
So,
Overwatch 2?
oh yes, 100%. Actually, one of the things that I wanted to do, because Overwatch 2 has so much more of a PVE feel.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was actually thinking about, if people from the stream team wanted to get together and like make like an Overwatch 2 PVE team. You know what I mean?
That'd be cool.
I think that would be pretty awesome. But yes, I will definitely 100% be playing Overwatch 2. I've told my stream many times that I will play Overwatch until the servers get shut down. Until the servers get shut down, I will not stop playing Overwatch.
What's your do you watch the competitive scene at all?
I watch Overwatch League.
Okay.
I watched it a lot when it was on Twitch. And then when it transitioned from Twitch to YouTube, I was very upset.
Mm.
I thought it was the wrong move on Blizzard's part. I thought it was the wrong move on Overwatch League's part, because when Overwatch League started, that's kind of when Overwatch is quote unquote, like, that's kind of like when their downturn started, where people were kind of referring to it as a dead game. And so in my mind, so and a lot of other people's minds, uh Overwatch League was what was going to save Overwatch, or at least it was what was going to keep Overwatch afloat. I firmly believe that. I was like, if Overwatch League does well, it's going to keep Overwatch alive. And when they decided to leave Twitch to make more money with YouTube, I was very upset. I thought that Blizzard and Overwatch were turning their backs on the Twitch community. For me, it was kind of a signal that they don't care. That all that they really just want the money. And so I didn't watch Overwatch League when it went to YouTube because I thought the production value was much lower than when it was on YouTube, or than when it was on Twitch. And you can tell in the viewership that a lot of people don't watch Overwatch League on YouTube. On Twitch, Overwatch League was averaging anywhere from 80,000 to 100,000 viewers at a time. And
Right.
now on YouTube, a lot of the matches that I watch, they only average like maybe 34,000 viewers.
Mm.
But I think just the pure competitiveness is what brought me back. And now I find myself watching Overwatch League VODs on YouTube all the time. So to answer your original question, yes, I love watching the competitive scene of Overwatch.
What is somebody's Reinhardt player? What do you think of the current meta?
Uh, I'm definitely I'm not happy about it. Am I happier than what I was? Yes, because the meta for competitive Overwatch is great. It's kind of sad to see the main tank role go away, but I think for the content creators, especially the high tier content creators, like Mushu and people who are like masters and above, I think it's great. I think it's absolutely amazing because when it was double shield for over a year, if you went into a Twitch stream, people were just upset constantly and just not happy with the state of the game. You would hear it constantly, like people would say like, damn double shield, or Orissa's boring, or Sigma's overpowered, or like they can't play certain heroes. Like you a lot of Widowmaker mains were like, I can't play Widowmaker because it's just shields. Um, a lot of support mains were like, I can't play Ana, or I can't play Zenyatta, or I can't play Lucio because of shields, because Brig is a better pick, because Moira is overpowered, and things like that. So, as much as it hurts to see the main tank role kind of go away, it makes me a lot happier because it seems like the content creators are much happier playing kind of like this very chaotic version of Overwatch. So,
Well,
uh,
yeah, I would agree with that. Well, I do think that there are a lot of them that are upset with it though, because I mean, they're I know Flats is not particularly happy right
oh yeah,
now.
I know that Flats isn't happy. I know that Super is definitely not happy. Ace of Spades and things like that. So I definitely see that because I think I was watching because I love Super.
Hmm.
Super is my favorite main tank streamer, and also my favorite player in Overwatch League. If you don't watch Super stream, I highly encourage it. He's a very funny streamer, very entertaining. And he was playing a game on Blizzard World where he was playing Reinhardt, and he was just getting swarmed by a Roadhog who would just not get off of him. And he actually, like, the enemy Roadhog forced Super to switch off of Reinhardt, and he was like, you know what? Yep, main tank is just not good. It's not good to pick right now. And I think honestly, Blizzard should have seen that coming. And I think what they should have done is brought back a lot of the Reinhardt nerfs that they took away. Like, I think they need to bring back the 50% steadfast. I think they need to bring back the 3 second shatter, which I don't think shatter should have been nerfed in the first place. I thought
I agree with
that
that.
was an absolute terrible change because I know that they wanted to nerf CC in general, and that's fine. But the thing is, and you can answer this, who in the Overwatch community was complaining about Reinhardt shatter?
Um,
Nobody.
the people that complain about Reinhardt Shatter were people I would not listen to when it came to nerfs
No.
and buffs.
Nobody was complaining about Reinhardt shatter. Nobody was like, you know what ultimate really needs to get nerfed? Reinhardt shatter. Like, that is just an overpowered ability. No, because when you're watching a stream or when you're playing a game, when a Reinhardt hits a massive shatter, it's a very hype moment. People are like, "Oh my god, that's a four-man shatter," and people love it. You know what I mean?
Well, especially the fact that there's so much you can do. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there's about 80 different ways you can get around it. You know,
Right.
you can block it with uh, Zarya bubbles. You can block it with
You can block it with your own Reinhardt shield,
Shield, a Winston bubble, Sigma
a Sigma
shield,
shield. You can stun it with a McCree or like a Brig and things like that.
yeah, or a hook.
So there was a lot of work. There's a lot of ways to avoid a Reinhardt shatter. But I remember because I'm very deeply involved in IDD. I'm assuming you know who IDDQD is, right? He's just an Overwatch streamer. Um, and we were talking, and I honestly feel like Overwatch is in a very good state when Reinhardt is truly the best tank in the game.
Hmm.
Or I think it's in a better state when Ana is the best healer in the game. Or when DPS like Genji and McCree, when those type of heroes are the meta of Overwatch, I feel like Overwatch is overall a better game with those heroes at the forefront. So yes, it's really fun to see Roadhog get his time and like time to shine, and I think it's long overdue for a hero like Roadhog, especially when his hooks got just nerfed into oblivion. So it's very nice, but I think Blizzard needs to really look at the state of the game and be like, you know what? I think we need to bring back Reinhardt. We need to really give him the power that he deserves, quite frankly.
Well, yeah, I would I understand about Reinhardt. I would say probably Reinhardt Winston are the two tanks that should be the deciding factors as far as main tanks go. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I never thought that Sigma should be a main tank.
Oh
I
no.
always thought he should be an off tank. In fact, I'm not excuse me, I'm not entirely sure that he should have ever had a shield in the first place. Because
Yeah, I think that's always been a big point of debate.
yeah, he has so much with it. Um, and as far as Orisa is concerned, I have mixed feelings about Orisa. I liked Orisa when she was a niche pick. Um,
Oh yes,
I liked
like
her.
like Elios Well or uh
You could play her Volskai a
Nepal Sanctum.
second
Yeah,
point.
Volskaya second point because that's what her role is. She's much more of a like things with a control point. At least not a mobile one. Like 2CP, she's built for 2CP defense.
Hmm.
She's not built for 2CP offense. She's not built for payload maps and things like that. And so I think when Double Shield was the meta and the giant shield nerf that went through, and for a long time people were like, "Oh my god, Double Shield's finally dead." And then it came back. It came and people were like, "Well, how is Double Shield still meta?" Because all the shields got nerfed. It's because it's because it's not that shields were overpowered. It was Sigma's kit
Right,
that's overpowered, and it's Orisa's versatility and the way that she interacts, like the way that she just combos so well with the Sigma. That's what was overpowered. The kits were overpowered. The versatility was overpowered, and because like Sigma just puts out so much damage,
right.
and then he can just take damage. Like Sigma is basically Zarya and
Diva.
like yeah, like why play Diva when you can play Sigma? Why play Zarya when you can play Sigma?
Yeah,
Why play these other tanks when you can play one tank who does a little bit of what all of those tanks already do? And he comes with a shield.
right.
And then
Um,
Orisa pull is just the most oppressive ability in the entire game. Oh my gosh, that ability is was broken.
what what did you think about when it was like, the meta was goats?
Being in platinum Overwatch, like platinum rank at the tank level, I think anything below masters basically doesn't have a meta. Uh,
That's fair.
in platinum, you can play whatever you want. Uh, but again, watching high level streamers and watching competitive Overwatch, I think it was kind of the game was very boring to watch. I think it was hard to follow. It was really hard to figure out what was really going on because really watching goats and watching those two teams interact, it's just two teams just like headbutting each other over and over again, and basically a team fight was won with whoever had their ults fastest. If you got your ult fast, you would always win the fight because there's just so much AP HP, and fights would just last for so long. So I don't think that goats was a bad meta. I don't think it was like boring. I don't think it was boring to play. I think it was more boring to watch, honestly.
Yeah, I think, and that's for most people that I've talked to, that is the assessment that has been made. And I think that's the most fair assessment is that it was fun to play because you were in the heat of the moment and there was so much you had to do in terms of ult managing
Mm-hmm.
and cooldown management um, that you had to pay attention. And but outside looking in, it looked like nobody was dying and everybody was just
Yeah,
running at each other.
exactly. They were just butting heads, and you're just like, what's going on? Like, who's actually winning this? Because a fight would last almost 30, 30, 40 seconds, and you're just like, is something going to happen? Like, who's going to win this?
Exactly.
And but I think honestly, it was mostly DPS players who were upset. I think because goats basically deleted the DPS role in general. Because if you were a DPS player and you were getting into a game, well, the only things that you could do is you were either playing Zarya or you were playing Brig.
Right.
Like that's those were your roles as DPS players.
Maybe Zen.
So, maybe Zenyatta. I love I love Zenyatta. I really wish that they would give Zenyatta the buff that he deserves. I really do.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. I have mixed feelings about um Zen. I always thought that the most value, because like with Zen and Ana, the highest level players with those two characters, it's not just their healing, um,
Mm-hmm.
it's their damage output.
Right.
They put out deceptively high amounts of damage. Um,
Oh, 100%.
not anything like 20k per 10, but I mean I think if I remember correctly, Jay Jonak was getting like at one point like 9k per 10 as Zen or something like that.
Oh, but I remember when Jay Jonak when he got his MVP season in season one of Overwatch League. That was back when Zen right click was basically a snipe.
Right.
It was just so much damage. But I think you have to look at Zenyatta now. I mean, Zenyatta now compared to Zenyatta then is a lot different, and the game was different back then. The
Mhm.
game is a lot different now, and I think the game itself as a whole has kind of passed him by.
Mhm.
I think a lot of supports have passed him by as well because the thing that Ana has that Zenyatta doesn't, and that a lot of supports have that Zenyatta doesn't, is that those supports have escapability, they have survivability, they have sustainability. Like Ana Ana can get Ana can stop herself from getting dove because she has sleep dart.
Right.
She can get out of sticky situations because she has her grenade. Baptiste has his immortality field and his self heal, and he can also put out a pretty good amount of damage. Lucio can get himself out of situations with his speed boost and things like that. But the thing is, with Zenyatta, he has no mobility, he has no escapability, he has no
He
sustainability. If is
floats.
it, yeah, exactly. If it's like somebody said it best. Zenyatta's best defense is his offense.
Right.
The only way that you can get yourself out of a situation is if you hit your shots, and that's not always the easiest thing to do, especially when you have a hero like Winston who will just dive you constantly. And if you can't hit your shots, well, you're just dead to that Winston at all times. And unless your team is just willing to make that effort to save you at all times, you're just not going to live for very long, and you're like you're forcing yourself to switch because it's just not going well.
Yeah, I think that the issue is too is that he was so prevalent in dive, um, because the tanks could actually peel for him. There's not really much
Hmm.
peeling to be done. If you're not like with double shield, there wasn't necessarily like Sigma and Arissa's job wasn't necessarily to peel. There's not really any peel involved when you're just blocking
No.
everything. Um, and he couldn't cut through the shields to get value out of his Discord orb. And then, uh, now currently, he could get value, but if you've got the right angle as with a Hog Zarya, like they're just gonna pick him off before anybody can kill the Hog.
Oh yeah, for
So
sure.
it's I don't know. Overwatch is better than Double Shield, but it's a mess right now.
Oh, like I said, it's a very chaotic. It definitely has a very every man for himself kind of feel to it. Because the like Roadhog's job is just to put down insane amounts of damage and just get picks. Your a Roadhog isn't really that worried. Like your Roadhog's not really gonna appeal for you because that's not really his job.
Right.
And then the Zarya's job is just to keep your hog alive. So that's why like the best healers right now in the game are Ana. Ana's probably the best healer in the game right now, or like the Ana pairs the best with Roadhog and is actually like the best anti-hog player. Because you can stop a hog from popping off with your sleep dart, or you can help your hog and you can put their hog at a disadvantage with a very well timed, very well placed, grenade.
Right.
And then Zenyatta doesn't really synchronize well with Ana. Brig is at high tiers, like Brig's almost unplayable. Um, and but the only thing that's kind of and honestly, the thing is like I've seen a lot. Mercy has kind of come back into the game.
Yeah, because of
Um,
Ash.
exactly because of Ash, and so and Ash and Widow because now that there's no shields, you're like it's almost like a shooting gallery for Widowmaker.
Right.
And heroes like Ash and things like that. So I think it's kind of nice to see. It's kind of nice to see Mercy kind of come back into the game. Um, the only downside is I think it kind of brings Moira back into the fold just a little bit, not in the way that she used to, because like the Moira probably won't be able to hear your DPS. It's more of just like for the mid fight and between the tanks, like between the Roadhogs. So but it's fun to watch. It's definitely entertaining to watch, and it's very chaotic.
What do you think? What do you think would need to be done to? I mean, you talk about Reinhardt, but is there anything else you think that would need to be done to bring it back into shields being prevalent again?
I think they need to because of the huge damage buff that Roadhog got. I think they need to revert his ultimate, the 20% knockback, which I thought was absolutely insane when they first did it. I was like, that is nuts. Because if you go back to old Roadhog ult and compare it to the 20%, that 20% is absolutely insane. The knockback on his ultimate is absolutely crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's nuts. So I think that needs to get scaled back. Maybe not revert it to the old value that it was, but I think they need to split the difference and reduce it by 10%. Um, I don't think that Roadhog needs. Other than that, I don't think Roadhog needs nerfs. Because I think that Roadhog, I think it actually puts him in a better position now. Uh, I think they need to find. I don't know what that. I don't know what it would look like. I think Winston kind of needs some kind of buff in general. Again, I don't really know what that would look like. Um, I think that maybe a lot of well, I don't want to say that a lot of DPS heroes who counter Hog, I don't think they would need a buff because I think that would kind of entail that May needs a buff, which I don't think
Mm-hmm.
nobody wants to see another May meta. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see that happen again. Um, I don't, but it's hard to find that balance of what brings shields back. Um, and obviously, I'm not an expert, but I think that buffing Reinhardt again, I think it'll bring shields back a little bit. I think Winston needs a buff.
Yeah. Um, or maybe give a buff to Diva. I'm not entirely sure.
Well, that's the thing is with Diva is that it kind of seems like with her history, she's either stupid overpowered to the point where she's just oppressive and you know, or she's nerfed and you just don't see her anymore.
Right.
And they're just having a really hard time finding that that sweet spot because I think a buff to Diva would have to be a buff to her defense matrix 100%. And that would either have to entail a longer range for her defense matrix, increased uptime for her defense matrix, or a bigger eat box for her defense matrix. And then if that actually happened, you would never hear it. Like people would be up in arms if Diva got another buff.
Right.
So
Well, we I don't know. We'll have to see what they try to come up with. Try is the operative word there. Um,
yeah,
sometimes I have my opinions of Blizzard as a company, um, but we'll have to see what they come up with. What would you like to see in the new hero?
is that the one? Is that Sojourn for Overwatch 2?
Well, that's going to be Overwatch 2 exclusive.
Oh, okay. Oh, so there's another hero coming out for
It's
Overwatch,
supposed to be a
like the
DPS hero.
Overwatch one.
Yeah.
A DPS hero, another DPS hero. I don't like it. We
uh,
just we just got Echo. I I don't like that they're introducing another DPS hero. I think that's the wrong way to go. I think another main healer would have been better.
hmm
I think a lot of people have been wanting another main healer for a long time, and for some reason Blizzard just doesn't want to give it to us. I think another DPS hero is the wrong way to go.
Well, I think a lot of people too. They thought Echo was going to be a support character,
I think a lot of us were under that impression.
and nope, surprise, DPS that copies everything.
I was
Uh,
very mad upon her initial release. I was very upset that it was another DPS hero. But once I played her, I really enjoyed her kit. I really liked what she could do. Um, I wish that she was a little bit more meta because her interactions are very fun. Um, so I'm not as mad as I was. I'm actually a really big Echo fan now, but I don't think releasing another DPS hero is the way to go.
same. I think they need to release more tanks and supports into the game first, at least two or three.
I think right now, I think they need to. I think what they need to do is they need to solve the problem of why playing tank is so not fun.
Right.
I think that's kind of like their biggest issue, and I think that again, I think they made a big mistake in nerfing Reinhardt because I think Reinhardt is the most fun tank to play. People love people love having a Reinhardt on their team. People love just playing that style of Overwatch. I think a Reinhardt 1v1 is one of the most interactive and one of the most fun 1v1s in the game. At least not by itself. Like you don't want to go to a 1v1 arena and pick a Reinhardt, but I mean like
Did you
in a
try that
game
with
of
the bot?
no, I
Oh,
haven't tried
oh
that.
my God. I'm not joking. There's a Reinhardt bot 1v1, and
I think I've seen someone play
that thing is the most evil thing I have ever seen. Because it literally, like, if you. It, it's hard to explain. You'd have to play it, but the thing
hmm
literally checkmates you. Like, if you miss like if it hits you with a fire strike and you miss your fire strike, at that point it just starts swinging on you because you're
Yeah,
never gonna make up the damage.
right.
Like, it's all and it'll adapt kind of to like how you play.
hmm
It is the worst damn thing ever. You can and if you got shatter, You basically have to bait it out, like,
Right.
and you can't get too close to it because the thing will pin you like instantly if you get too close to it. It's just, I don't know. It's a bunch of bullshit. That thing, that thing
I think
is. Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just saying, like, I can't remember what streamer I watched play it, but I know that I did watch somebody play the Reinhardt 1v1, and they were getting owned by the bot.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, I mean, it's just um, there were some pros that were like trying to play it, and it was not going well for them. They were getting
Yeah.
owned
Oh
by the
no.
bot.
Yeah, it was like a big name like streamer, who was trying to do the Reinhardt 1v1. The thing is about a Reinhardt 1v1 is that not only is there the physical battle, a Reinhardt 1v1 is very mental.
Oh
It's
yeah,
very in your head. Like whenever I'm playing Reinhardt and the enemy team has a Reinhardt, it's very you have to, like, can I charge here? Can I use this like fire strike? Should I put up my shield or should I start swinging? And then there's like, all right, cool. I have my shatter. How close is he to his shatter?
right.
And then can I block his shatter? Will he block my shatter? And things like that. So that's what I love about playing the hero is that mental battle that you have with the enemy Reinhardt. And that's what I love most about the hero because it's a very good play to land a big shatter. I think it's an even better feeling to block a shatter. Blocking a shatter is it's kind of like asserting your dominance over the other Reinhardt. It's like, yeah, believe me, like you're not gonna outplay me. I'm gonna outplay you. And it's a very mental thing.
Yeah, well, and when it was 3 seconds, it used to matter because it felt like an outplay.
Exactly.
Now now that feels like a. Oh, did you enjoy your nap?
Yeah.
Feeling a
It's kind
little.
of like, oh well, I guess that happened and now it's over. So
You feeling better about yourself, buddy? Is
yeah,
that?
exactly.
um. So what I mean, what are your taking it back to streaming? What are your future plans for streaming?
Uh right now it's kind of just like keep doing what I'm doing. My goals for the future, I think that I mean, straight up, I would like to be partnered,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, but I think that you can say that I think anybody who puts enough time and enough effort into streaming, obviously they want that. They want to be partnered. And for me, I don't really care about the money. I don't want to be partnered for financial reasons or to reach like to be famous or anything like that. I truly have a passion for streaming. I absolutely love streaming. I love doing it. It's my favorite thing in the entire world. When I'm at work, I'm thinking about streaming. When I go to the gym, I'm thinking about streaming. Kind of going back to what I said earlier, one of the things that I live by is like if you're very passionate about something, you'll do it for free.
Right.
And that's how I feel about streaming. I would stream for free for the rest of my life. I would stream for 8 to 10 hours a day for free for the rest of my life because I absolutely love doing it. And obviously, I want to continue to build my community. I want to build my Discord. Like the amount of growth that I've experienced in my Discord from the beginning of this year till now is amazing and way more like it's absolutely phenomenal. I've gained so many followers and people that who are just like who love being in my community. Like, um, I'm just trying to give a couple of shout outs, like friends like Onamitsu, um, Veg, Juzu, Amy, Panda, just so many people. Like, it's just it's been amazing, and it's honestly it's made me emotional, and I can't believe how much my stream has grown in the past 8 months, and I really want to build off of that. Um, the last time I did a 24-hour stream, I actually held like a Overwatch 1v1 tournament where I gave away like $100
Oh, okay.
to the winner, and it was very successful, and it was so much fun. and I didn't participate because I didn't want it to be about me. I wanted
Right.
it to be about my viewers, and so I didn't compete in the tournament, but I casted it, and it was so much fun, and it's something that I definitely want to do again. I want to hold another community Overwatch 1v1 tournament because it was the most fun that I'd ever had. So I want to do a lot more things like that.
That sounds like a lot of fun. And then you were talking about doing community events with the Mushu clan and stuff. Sound
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of fun. Um, yeah, and I agree. You know, I want to do streaming professionally. So unfortunately, there is a financial component to that. Um,
Right.
you know, especially being able to help out, you know, Mama Yon and all that stuff. Um,
Right.
with that being said, you know, I care more about just bringing more people into an awesome community and then introducing them to, you know, awesome stream team and uh, having more emote slots. That's the best. That's actually my number one
Yeah.
thing. I want more emote slots. Um, but I yeah, I mean that's those are my incentives, not just, you know, any type of
Right.
financial. And you know, as Mushu and I talked about when she was on, you know, partner doesn't guarantee any type of financial security. So,
No, of
um,
course not.
you know, you have to still make or not make, but you still have to bring in way more than is the bare
Right.
minimum requirement
No,
for partner.
exactly. But and I told my stream a couple months ago that my military contract is up in 3 years,
Hmm.
and that I would be on a. I don't want to call it a partner push. Like I don't want to say that because um I don't know. I don't think it just does. I just don't think it suits me very well. But I told them like in 3 years, if I made partner and I met certain numbers, because like you said, like partnership doesn't guarantee financial independence.
Right.
But in those 3 years, in the next 3 years, if I do hit those numbers, like a certain sub count and things like that, that I would make streaming my full time thing. But I told them, and I want to stick to it, that if I ever do reach those milestones, it's because I did it being me.
Right.
And I've always told my stream that like if we ever did it, it's because they made it happen, not necessarily that I made it happen. It's because my community made it happen. Like I've always, everything that I've ever gotten through streaming, I've always attributed to my community. I never want to feel like I did it. I always feel like my community did it for me, and because I can never thank them enough. So if I make partner in the next 3 years, great. If I don't, it doesn't really matter to me. I still love streaming. I'm still going to stream, and I still enjoy doing it every day.
And I think that that is a wonderful attitude to have because there are no guarantees when it comes to things like entertainment, and you know it's all mercurial. It could be there one day and gone the next.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that having the attitude of something beyond, you know, a stagnant amount of success, like I'm going to have this many viewers, I'm going to have these this many subs, but instead focusing on things that are I want to build this type of community. I want to
Right.
you know, meet these, you know, these type of people and bring new people into my life and all stuff, you know, things like that. I think those are goals that are far more. I don't even want to say tangible, but they're goals that are far more long lasting as far as keeping your desire to go as a streamer.
Yeah.
Because you know, even with Mushu, I mean, it's mind-boggling to think of how many subs she gets. But I've, you know, and you've been part of the stream as well. I've seen her sub count, you know, some months and this is just a realistic, you know, pragmatic standpoint. It's not negative at all. But I've seen her sub count at some point get cut by 40% in 1 month.
Right.
Um, and that is just the way that it is. And so you have to prepare for stuff like that. So, you know, there has to be more to it
Right.
when you're growing your stream than the
Yeah.
finances. So I completely
Yeah.
agree with
Because
you.
Yeah, because it's very visceral.
Yeah.
Like you could have 2,000 subs one month, and then the next month you can have like 1,000 subs. And I think one of the hardest things that I've witnessed or that I've noticed about full time Twitch streamers is that you're not allowed to take a day off. I've seen people unsub because somebody didn't stream for a day. I've
Right.
seen people unfollow because they dared to take a week vacation.
Yep.
Um, and but I've seen, and not only that, I've seen a lot of streamers witness backlash because they did a sponsored stream,
Yep.
and I think that's absolutely ridiculous. It's like, do you know that though that sponsored stream, they're getting money for that stream? Some people, like, at the end of the day, you have to pay your bills. Like, if you're telling me that I can get that a company is going to pay me $2,000 if I play their game for 2 hours, I'm going to take that $2,000 because that's rent. That's my car payment. That's my phone bill. That's food for the next couple of months. And people have been like, I, I'm not going to watch your stream. I unfollowed. I can't believe you sold out. I can't believe you did a sponsored stream.
Right.
I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
I've seen DM snapshots of people saying that. And it's like, dude, streaming's not a guaranteed thing. It's not like every streamer is Moon Moon or Dr. Disrespect or Shroud or Ninja where they have actual contracts with Twitch to keep streaming. That's not that's not the that's not the case for everybody. Some people it's like it's just it's like a normal everyday job, but the thing is that being a full-time Twitch streamer comes with so much less security because there if your stream fails or if your sub count goes down, there's no safety net.
Right.
You either have to stop streaming and go find an actual job, or you have to find some way to get your sub count back up,
Right.
because like you said, your stream could be there one day and gone the next.
Mhm.
And so, being a full-time Twitch streamer, while it is fun, and don't get me wrong, it is fun. You get, like, you're telling me that I can get to, I can, I can make some sort of living out of playing video games and interacting with really cool people for 8 hours of the day. Sign me up right now. And like I said, I would do that stuff for free. But I think I can kind of be in the position where I can say that because my wife is a registered nurse.
Right.
And so, like, I'm not saying that I would use my wife as a fallback, but I definitely have kind of like that little tiny security blanket. But even for me right now, I don't need money from streaming because
Right.
I have a full-time job. The military pays my bills. The military is my job. Streaming is my passion. Streaming right now is just a hobby that I love. So, I can sit up here and I can say that thing, but I can sit up here and say those things, but I know that a lot of people can't say those things. I have friends who are like, I don't have a job, I don't have a way to make money, and who are trying to become full-time streamers to feel that financial security. So, while it is a quote unquote dream job,
Mhm.
it also comes with a lot of trepidation.
Yeah. Well, and I've explained this to people before that I think you have to be understanding of people that are under financial constraints when it comes to um, Twitch streamers. Like I think now here's the
Mm-hmm.
thing. I think that being genuine as far as your personality is concerned, that's just a core
Mm-hmm.
belief of who I am. Um, but there's a lot of people who they feel that it's necessary to do like a persona or a character
Mm-hmm.
or something like that, and people get upset with that, but at the same time, you have to look at it in a lot of ways. For a lot of streamers, this is entertainment, and they're being entertaining. And even if they are true to themselves from a very you know rudimentary perspective, they're still going to, as they say about uh, Stone Cold Steve Austin. I don't know how much you know about wrestling, but
No, yeah, I love WWE.
okay. You know, uh, Jim Ross would say that um, Steve Williams. That's just he is Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's just him turned up to 11.
Right,
Um,
and I think that's what it is. Like a persona is your personality, just
Turned up.
exaggerated.
Right.
Like, yeah,
But people get upset when somebody, I don't want to say breaks character or something, but when somebody like shows legitimate uh or has like legitimate grievances about something, or they get upset, and they're normally a very happy I mean, people are, human, and you got to be understanding that, your favorite streamer or whatever, that they're an entertainer, but also too, um I want to be careful how I say this, but they don't necessarily owe, they're not guaranteeing you know, 100% this is what you're going to get every single time. Um,
right.
because, things change, situations change, things that affect them throughout the day. So I definitely think people have to be understanding of that. Um, and
Oh,
also,
for sure.
and also too, they'll switch, what games they're playing and all that stuff to try to keep up with it. And I know Tim the Tatman had a tweet that he had put out. He said when people said I switched from what was it like? I don't remember all the games he mentioned, but it's something like from CS:GO to um, Overwatch. They said I'd lose all my viewership. When I switched from Overwatch to Fortnite, they said I'd lose all my viewership. When I switched from Fortnite to Valorant, they said I'd
Good.
lose.
Yeah,
And he's like, and I always gained viewership. And now he's playing Fall Guys and hitting ridiculous numbers. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, I mean, that's another thing too. They like you said, they have to do what they enjoy and also switch it up, because playing the same thing over and over and over again, would get one, it get monotonous, but two, if it ever stagnates, like they lose viewership, lose subs, etc., etc. It's a far more complex process than what people I think. For a lot of people that
yeah.
full time stream. Um, but I think the values that you've put forward about doing it, whether you were making money or not, building a community, engaging with your community, being close with your that initial community. As you would grow as a streamer, it would only become naturally more difficult. I mean, when you get 40, 50,000 viewers, it's just humanly not possible to be close with everybody at that point.
Oh
Um,
no, of course not.
and even Mushu was talking about how as her stream grows and grows and grows, she has to kind of limit herself on what she can respond to and what she can't in terms of DMs and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Oh,
And
for sure.
so, but I think that's where that community becomes a reflection of you, is when you build an awesome core community, they become people that are welcoming. It's just like
Right.
all the mods that Mushu has, all the VIPs she has, they are people that if you don't get a chance to talk to her or interact with her, you interact with them, and they are just as awesome. Um,
True.
so, no, I think all of it that you've talked about, I agree, I concur with, the vast majority of it. Um, it's and it's really one of the wonderful things that's been, I think, the best experience. I would have a list of wonderful experiences, but I think the best experiences is finding so many people that are, like-minded in how they want to build a community.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was worried about, I was like, man, coming to this and trying to do this, professionally, is it going to be, very superficial? And there's going to be some of that. But so
Right.
far, everybody I've met has just been wonderfully genuine. They truly care about the people in and out of their community. They've just been fantastic. Like mentioned Big Boy Fury, Bear, um, Andrew, Hot Meal, for those of you who don't know,
Mm-hmm.
um, and Luke, and Ella, and I mean the list goes on and on and on. They've all
Of
just been
course.
absolutely wonderful. So yeah, I mean it's been awesome for me to do this and get to know you all. Um, so
I think it's amazing that you do this.
yeah,
I think it's great.
I have a blast doing this, and it's really fun to get to learn about stuff and learn about people's backgrounds. With that being said, I think that we are going to transition over. I don't know if anybody is still in chat. I know it's been getting kind of late, um, but we'll do the Q&A section. See if anybody has any questions. If there's any lurkers that have any questions now. While you all are thinking of that, I do have a question. I always have questions in the back of my mind. Um, did you ever play Goldeneye 64?
No, I've been asked that a lot. I never got into
Really?
GoldenEye. No, I
Really?
never played it. I think at that time I didn't really have I didn't have friends who came over to the house a lot when we had our 64, so there was no reason
Okay.
for us to own it.
What was your favorite character in Smash?
Kirby. I've always had a soft spot for Kirby. Uh, I don't know what it is.
Hang on one second. I'll do this in case anybody has it muted. Um, yeah, Kirby. I played my favorite was actually Fox. Fox McCloud. Um,
Yeah, I would always. I liked Fox. I would like if I didn't play Kirby, I would play Mario, but Kirby was my number one.
did you ever know like the lore behind Star Fox? Like in their legs, that their legs are actually robotic?
No.
Okay. So get this this is true, by the way. They talked about this in the manga. Um,
Mm-hmm.
they all have robotic legs because and I'm trying to remember exactly what they call, but it prevents the rapid changes in pressure from them flying. It prevents them from passing out because of the way that the blood would flow.
Okay, so actually, I do know a lot about that. Because I have flown in an F-16 fighter jet.
Okay.
So when you go through, we had to go through a an initiation, or not a really initiation. We had to go through a class, and we had to go through a briefing, and we had to get cleared medically before they would let us fly, because of the G force that we pull inside the jets. And so the exercise that they teach you to keep yourself from passing out, from pulling G's, is you tense up every muscle from your abdomen all the way down. So you flex your muscles, you tighten up your butt, you you clench your legs, and your feet, and you clench as hard as you can, and you take one big deep breath in,
Hmm.
and then you take like little tiny micro breaths as you're pulling G's, and you push yourself up against the seat as much as you can, and you clinch as hard as you possibly can. And I remember pulling G's, and I my vision got really dark, and then like the little tiny circles to where like I was looking through like two straws, and then and then once we pulled out like all of I came back and things like that. So that's true. That's actually true.
Yeah, I remember reading about that. I was like, damn, Nintendo's hardcore. Like chop off their legs for their so that they don't succumb to the G's that they would be going through.
Yep.
Um, but what you said that you played Zelda and stuff like that. What is your favorite Zelda game?
uh it'd be Ocarina of Time.
Okay, okay.
I
Um,
have yet to play Breath of the Wild though. I know that people are hailing it as like Breath of the Wild as like one of the best video games ever made, but I've yet to play it.
did you play Majora's Mask?
I watched a friend play it. Like, oh, me and my friend kind of like had a shared save file, but it was at his house. So I would kind of say yes, I did play Majora's Mask, but it
um,
wasn't me always playing it.
I gotcha, I gotcha. And then also I wanted to ask, as far as the Nintendo GameCube is concerned, did you ever play any of the more eclectic games like Eternal Darkness, Tales of Symphonia?
No,
Um,
I think the farthest out I ever got from normal GameCube games was I played Pac-Man World 2. That was probably the farthest it ever got. Like I haven't played Fire Emblem or Final Fantasy or any games like
I would
that.
definitely recommend Fire Emblem. Actually, one of the series that I would recommend from Nintendo, that I think is awesome, that is now on Steam, is the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney series.
I've
Um,
heard a lot of people talk about that.
I would definitely recommend that. And then what was the other one that I would recommend? If you could ever find an emulator for Super Nintendo, not that I'm encouraging you to download games, you know, but at this point, Square Soft doesn't exist as a company anymore, so screw it.
Yeah,
Super Mario RPG.
I've heard of that game too.
Yes. If you can ever get a chance to play Super Mario RPG, don't worry, you don't have to play as Peach. You don't have to have her on your team. Um, but absolutely one of the best RPGs of all time and one of my personal favorite games. Um,
Okay.
but if
I have a game suggestion for you.
sure,
Do you like D&D type stuff?
when it comes to D&D, I've played it like once or twice, but I've had a bunch of people say that they want to start playing like D&D, like co-streaming and stuff like that. So I'd be interested. But what's the game suggestion?
Anyway, the game suggestion is Darkest Dungeon. Uh,
Oh yeah.
I absolutely love that game.
Yeah. I Cause what was it that it reminded me of? It reminded me of there's in a way, art style wise, a little bit.
Uh
There's a
huh.
game on Steam that I downloaded called Battle Brothers,
Mm-hmm.
um, and it's very reminiscent of that, where very high difficulty. Things
Oh
can
yeah.
one shot you for most of the game. And you have these characters that the more they're with you, the more skills that they build, the stronger they become. And then eventually, you lose one in battle and you're like, damn it.
Well, now you're just screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Darkest Dungeons is kind of the same way. It's a 4v it's a turn based roguelike,
Okay.
where you have to manage resources and heroes and stuff like that. And it's a very unforgiving game where but the thing is, like, that's what it's built to do. It's built to frustrate you. It's built to test you. Um, where you'll feel like the game is going great and you're like, wow, this is easy. To where you go into a dungeon and all of a sudden you
Gotcha.
lose everybody in your party, and it's like, well, how am I supposed to recover from this? Because you have to manage, money and things like that.
Right.
So it's a very challenging game, very fun, very rewarding. The art style, like you said, like the art style is amazing. The narrator is one of the best uh, I've ever heard in a video game. And then Darkest Dungeon 2 is set to come out later this year, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So,
Awesome. Well, I will definitely check that out. I just downloaded some stuff from Steam. So next time I download stuff, I'll put that on the wish list. I'm sure at this point it's probably got to be going on sale soon. Um,
oh yeah, I think it's like $20 right now, maybe even less than that.
uh,
It might be $10.
I I definitely, Steam's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I'll just pick up this game and that game and this game and that game. It's like there's a
Yeah,
sale. It's like, was it 50 games I'm never gonna play on top,
right.
but I got them all for $30.
That's awesome.
um, but I definitely will put that on the wish list and definitely pick it up ASAP. Um, so I guess if nobody has any questions, we like I said, it's getting late for a lot of people. We will go ahead and wrap it up. Was there anything that you wanted to mention? Daisy, before we headed out?
Not really at this moment. Just really, I really appreciate the opportunity. Thank you for doing this interview. It was amazing. I've actually never done it before, so this is the first time for me. So this was very fun. I want to thank you. I also want to just say how appreciative I am of being part of the Mushu clan. It's it's been one of the greatest things in my streaming career so far, and I look forward to not only getting to know the team, but you know, growing my community through the channels afforded to me by Mushu, who again is just an amazing streamer. And thank you again for this opportunity. I told everybody in my Discord they need to give you a follow. They need to watch your stream. I still don't really know what Remnant of the Ashes is about, but I love watching you play it. So you know,
If it makes you feel
I
any better,
appreciate
I've got 500 hours into the game and I still don't know what's about.
it.
But we're supposed to find out with the DLC, which I'm gonna be playing tomorrow. But um, and that's not entirely a joke. The new DLC that came out is supposed to wrap up the story and actually make it coherent because there's a lot of plot
Right.
holes currently in it. So, but I'm excited to be able to do that. So, with
It's
that
awesome.
being said, as always, um, we are going to let the guest pick who we raid. So, Daisy, if there's anybody that you want to raid, let me know.
It can be anybody.
It can be anybody.
All right. Well, I have a suggestion then.
Okay.
Uh, how do you want me to say it? Just like say it out loud, or how do you want me to do it?
If you want to type their name in chat, I
Okay.
will just type out the Twitch link.
That's one of my very good friends. I've known her nickname is Moo. I've known Meticulous for years, and we have like grown up together on Twitch, quote unquote. And she's absolutely amazing. She's so sweet. She's amazing.
Is that the right person?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. All right, so as we're getting ready to raid Meticulous Hands, thank you all so much for being here. Much appreciated as always. Thank you to everybody who showed up to Delicate Stream. Thank you to everybody who showed up um, to Daisy's episode. We will be, because of the way things got mixed around with the schedule, we won't be having anybody later on today on Saturday. This is technically our Saturday episode. But we will be having somebody on Sunday. And let me bring up their name. I am actually not entirely sure how to pronounce this. This is somebody that actually approached me on Twitter, and Ale Dream Game On is, I think, how you say their name. But anyways, we're going to be talking with them on Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern, and looking forward to that. As always, thank you all so much. Daisy, thank you for being here. Um,
Thank you.
you all have been awesome. Love you all so much, and we will catch you all next time. So say hi to Meticulous Hands and have a good night, everybody. All right, let me go ahead and end stream.